hit those like buttons and share. This is the Squeegee Life with me, T. Squeegee, and Mark Tanner, and we're here with Casper from Black Diamond Rubber. What's up, Casper?
Yeah.
How are you, sir? Casper, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Absolutely great.
I literally just flew home, and man, are my arms tired. No, seriously though. Yeah, I got home like 45 minutes ago from cleaning windows. So
yeah, I'm trying to get used to that humidity here in Florida. It's killing me. I mean, I came from 3 weeks in Europe.
Oh, must be nice. So what are you doing today? What did you do today, Mark Tanner?
Dodged the rain.
Dodged the rain?
Yeah, I cleaned a handful of jobs today, and then just dodged the rain, trying to figure out what could get done. We got this big escalator canopy that we're going to restore the top of it, and the bottom half of it is all scaffolded up because they painted all the frames. So that's tomorrow's job, is the working upside down underneath like 260 panels. So we got to get that cleaned up before the scaffold comes down, and then we'll figure out how we're going to do the outside.
David Casnucci, is there really a picture of you? Is there a picture of David Casnucci in the opening? Is that one of...
Yeah, that was a picture I took of Dave on one of the jobs.
I thought I saw him tagged in it. That's why I swiped it, Dave. If you're not going to come on the podcast, you're going to be a part of it in one way or another, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So, Casper, what's been going on with you, man? I mean, you're the Black Diamond Rubber guy, so, I mean... What's going on, man? How are things?
Things are good now.
Great.
They've been really, really busy first of all, the season. That's one thing. We changed distributor, a couple months ago.
Right.
That was a big thing.
Yeah.
And, I have changed my profile a little bit from just being a rubber guy to go into other stuff. So
you have aspirations to do other things. That's super sweet. So I don't know if anybody out there knows. I mean, everyone knows who you are, but I mean, maybe not everyone knows. How did you get into the Squeegee Rubber business? What led you to the Squeegee Rubber?
Well, I mean, originally it goes back to the 99 or something like that. I had a company in Europe making rubber products for all kind of applications, design products, medical stuff. And some window cleaners came to me one day and complained about. I mean, Sorbo had a big time there back those days in Europe too, and people just complained to me saying, like, these rubbers are so expensive, can't you make like something similar or whatever, we can use for a cheaper price? And I took it up as a challenge. It was fun.
Okay, all right.
I have to admit, it took maybe 3 years to get the formulation right, to make a decent rubber for window cleaning. But from then on, we've just been, making squeegee rubber as a part of our business. It's not the only business we have. I mean, we make dive stuff. We make
diving stuff for diving.
Yeah, we make all the gaskets, for cold water diving, for firefighters, for police, everybody was going down to cold water. Chemical, all kind of hazmat suits. You need to seal the body off so you don't get any toxic stuff on your skin. So that's what we make too. That's a cool part.
I did not know that. I did not know that you were a rubber extraordinaire. I thought you were just the rubber squeegee guy, but apparently not. You're just whatever. Do you make rubbers too, like prophylactics, or no?
Isn't that intestines?
I can tell you one thing. I mean, the most funny products. We made a lot of funny products, but I mean, the most weird one we got a request for was and I have to do it in feet now, 6 feet. That's 6 meters. That's 18 feet long condoms.
Really? Oh, for wounds and stuff, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, there's some people who need 18 feet. Right?
Yeah,
No.
they're that big of a dick.
I know, Mark, you don't, but no.
Yeah, we could both get in there. It's so big.
Yeah.
No, but in the medical world, if you have colon cancer or you have suspicion of colon cancer, what you do is you take a probe and go through your colon all the way. And for the column not to be damaged, you want to expand the column before the camera goes up. So we have like a double condom. You can fill it with water, and the camera can slide up without damaging the column.
Shit.
Yeah, and it's dipped, so it's pretty. If you can imagine, you have to dip something who's 18 feet long. That takes a hell long dip to do.
Right.
And we have to fight gravity on that one because the rubber is liquid, so it will actually start going towards the ground all the time. So we have to make sure methods so it stays the same thickness all over.
That's cool. And you learned something there. So so Casper Shoring, he removes bird shit and human shit. He does it all, man.
Wow.
He's got his,
We can do whatever
we do whatever we want.
I'm just more concerned about somebody putting 18 feet of something up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought 6 inches hurt pretty bad. Holy crap.
That's great.
Mark, it gets better the longer it gets up.
I hope so.
So, I know these are questions that are probably often asked, but rubber comes from a tree, correct? And how exactly, is that, you just like whack a tree down, or is it the leaves? Where does it come from?
It comes from a rubber tree. That's how, all rubber, you have two types of rubber. You have natural rubber, which comes from the trees, and then you have synthetic rubber, which comes from oil. But all we use is natural rubber. And literally you go out into the rubber forest, more or less, where the trees are, and they just cut a slice into the tree, put like a pipe in, and the juice that comes out, that's actually liquid rubber.
So
like maple syrup.
So it's maple syrup. So is it a renewable resource, rubber? I guess that's not the right way to say. So when you're extracting rubber, is that harming and killing the tree?
No.
No. See, man, that's cool.
What happens is it is so old school you wouldn't believe it. It's actually buckets. Out on the plantation, they have these buckets under each tree, and they go and collect these buckets every day, and put them into bigger containers, and then it goes to a refinery where they treat the rubber. And literally you take out, of course, dirt, leaves, and stuff like that, and you also try and get some of the water out of it. And then you kind of not use the same latex all the time. You kind of mix it up. It's a little bit like a wine. Because the season can change, every year it can be a good harvest, it can be a bad harvest.
Oh, okay.
You have to compensate for these things too, because it is a purely natural material. So it's a little bit like buying wood at the lumber store. You can get a good piece, you can get a bad piece.
When it comes out of the tree, is it black when it comes out of the tree?
It's absolutely milky white.
No shit. And in the process,
carbon.
You add carbon to the rubber? Is that
no? But you add carbon black later on, but that's way later. It's kept white all the time, and you add ammonia to the latex to keep it liquid, because otherwise it would dry up eventually, and be like a gummy. So that's how you keep it alive. And then it comes in. For instance, we get the barrels in. It's like 200 kilos. What's that? 450 pounds. Barrels of liquid latex who gets treated and gets into the production. And then we put the additives in, among that the black color and other additives to make it right.
Is there a particular reason why the rubber needs to be black?
Yeah, because if you don't make it black, the sun and ozone will eat it slowly.
Oh, see, I thought you made it black so it could be longer.
Yeah, thicker. The
problem is too when you go black. What is it? No one.
So steel, right? Any kind of metal is almost 100% recyclable. You can melt it down. It doesn't matter if it's painted or rusted, and use it again. Rubber, once it's done, right? You can't,
Well,
they cut it up and put it into roads and stuff like that, but it's pretty much not being able to turn back into rubber, correct?
it's not like plastic, steel, or anything like that. You can melt it down and you can use it for anything. I mean, we actually we recycle rubber. We actually building right now a system in Europe where the cleaners can actually return the rubbers, and we pay them back for the rubber they return. Because it goes back and it gets grinded up and used for those mats you see for playgrounds and stuff like that. Use that.
Yeah, because I know here the biggest thing is tires, getting rid of tires. So I know they grind those up, get all the metal out, and then they'll mix it in with asphalt and stuff like that, to kind of repurpose it. But it's not recyclable, right?
Well, is there speaking of which, because I'm like, I mean, people probably wouldn't know this, but I'm lightweight a tree hugger, I'm like worried about the environment a little bit. And I'm wondering, in reusing something for something else, is there anything in America that kind of matches what you're trying to do? I'm assuming in Europe, where you buy the rubber back, or or even somewhere you could turn it in for those repurposing. Nothing.
I haven't heard about any system in the U.S. at all.
Well, I have a proposition for you. Me and Mark would like to go. Well,
we can come in.
Go ahead.
We will implement it here in the U.S. too.
Okay.
As soon as we have the system tested in Europe and we know it's working perfectly, then we're going to do it. But we're going to do it so it's not only our own rubber. We're going to do it for every rubber people return, and it's simply an environmental thing for us too.
Right. Yeah. Well, see, me and Mark have a proposition. Would you like to start Black Diamond Playgrounds with us, and we'll just start? No. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
we could put kickstands on them shits.
We have for a long time now, since you're a tree hugger. Yeah. We have for a long time been providing the used rubbers for the plantations in Denmark. So they actually use the Squeegee rubbers to bind up the trees, because that doesn't harm the tree when it's growing, and it's a good way for them to when they plant the new trees to make sure.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we have. You know what? They are recycling it, because I had to put some mulch down in front of my house, and they make it into mulch. Like you put it around the base of the trees, and it never rots, and it holds water.
Right.
So that's like ground up rubber something. I don't know if it's what it's.
I mean, there's not. I mean, the rubber one. I mean, like, it's not like it's polluting the environment and stuff like that. It's not like plastic making micro plastic and all that shit we see now in our environment. But
right.
So I mean, it's a pure natural material, and the things we have added onto it, there's none of those things who's not environmental friendly. So that way we're good.
So let me ask you this, though, because I'm envisioning, I think we talked about this before, because you told me the story about the plantations and how they collect the rubber. But are, like, car tires 100% natural rubber? Is there so much else in it? Because, I mean, think about how much rubber you need just to make all the tires.
It's very often it's an oil-based rubber they use for it, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you had a pure natural rubber tire, and you have it outside and in the sun for that many years, pure rubber will disappear. You will have no tires left on it.
No.
So that's a good point. So I'm going to ask you this, because I know it's been mentioned before. What is the shelf life of a box of, let's just say, Black Diamond rubbers? What's the shelf life sitting out of any UV issue? You know what I'm saying? How long do they last before they start to become clean in a different way, meaning they harden up, or they're not going to last as long?
Yeah, if I could answer that question, I'll be very, very rich today.
Yeah.
It depends a lot about how you store it. If you, for instance, like we do in the factory, when we manufacture it, every time it's made, it goes into card boxes instantly, and it goes into the shelves, where there's no air moving around like outside. If you have in your truck, for instance, and you have the rubbers laying around, and you open the truck door, new air, fresh air coming in, the sun beams onto it, then it doesn't last that long. I mean, in a car, I would say probably a couple of weeks. And you'll see it start getting sticky. See the rubber wear off.
I actually
it
have a
looks like you
question.
should off rubber on hot glass.
I actually have a
Yeah.
question for you. I recently, well, not recently, about a month ago, bought some black diamond squeegee rubber from windowcleaner.com, and I pulled for whatever reason, and now this is the first time I've ever seen it like this. It was kind of like a gray scaly almost. It was kind of like, I know that usually there's like a gray chalky like substance on the rubber, but this time it was a little harder.
Yeah.
Like the talc was a little harder. Is there any reason for that? Because I had to wash the rubber off before I used it.
Yeah, but you always have to wash the rubber no matter what before you use it. I mean, like that's the recommendation, because we have to put the talcum inside to make them not stick too much.
I was just wondering how. I didn't know what that was in there. If there was a specific reason for that.
Yeah, but that's for the rubber not to stick. We actually try to minimize that too, because I mean, like the talcum powder is not the best thing in the world. Not for us as humans or anything else.
Really?
So we're trying to minimize it. We probably have to go a little bit up in dose again, because we have seen a little bit, especially after product's been sitting there for a couple of months. Even though it's in the plastic bag, a little bit of humidity comes in, and then it starts to take away the efficiency of it.
Okay. Man.
So we touched on this. Yeah. Is it best to store the rubber like in a, for lack of a better term, Rubbermaid type container that will seal and keep it out of the sun? Like, because I buy a gross at a time, okay, and I keep it in my shop, and it's not in the sun, okay, and it's in usually what it comes in, what it's shipped to me in. So would I be better off? I don't honestly notice. I go through about 2 gross a year. I don't honestly notice a difference when I open a brand new pack of rubber versus something that I've had for 6 months. But just for everyone out there, what's the best way to store it?
If you should do it, if you should do the absolute best way of storing your rubber, you will put it into a plastic bag and seal it.
Yeah.
But if you go, let's say you buy a gross of rubber and you go through that gross of rubber in a year, then you have no problem. As long as you keep it inside your warehouse, and you don't, don't leave it out in the sun, and then you're good. Then you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Now these formulas, like you said,
just to follow up on that, I can actually we actually keep rubber every year. We keep a certain amount of rubbers every year. We just store them, and we can see a little difference in what year it's made. So that means there's a difference in the raw material for that year. Yeah. But normally, if we keep them in our stored place, we have like in black plastic bags, sealed off. Then they can last 3 or 4 years with no problem at all.
Yeah. It starts to degrade over time if it's out in the UV and everything else like that.
It's the UV and the ozone who eats the rubber.
Yeah. So now, do certain soaps, such as something that's more alkaline, I know there's a lot of soaps that are designed specifically for window cleaning. None of them, probably to my knowledge, claim they let the rubber last longer. Is there, like I use ammonia in my water, and I'm sure that has some effect on it over time, but I change my rubber, usually 3 days on one side, 2 days on the second side, and then I'm ready for a new rubber for the following week.
I'm actually thinking, I'm starting to count, and I'm like, man, I need to buy a half a gross a round top and a half a gross because the way I buy rubber is stupid. I should just buy it and have it.
Yeah, you're paying a lot more for it to buy it in a dozen packs.
I'm an idiot.
I remember someone asking if they could buy one. One. What the fuck? Come on.
No, but it's different from country to country too, how people buy the rubbers. I think if you go through a gross of rubber or half a gross of rubber a year, just buy the whole portion at once. You'll save some money. If you buy them by the dozen, one thing is the price is higher, but you also pay shipping every time. It's
right.
And you can get a little more rubber out, and it will last you. So that's not. But in the UK, for instance, people buy the rubber by the piece. The window cleaner goes down, buy one piece of rubber, and then goes out cleaning, and then goes back home. 3 days later, they go down and buy a new piece. Just the money spent on gas going back and forth to buy a piece of rubber.
Yeah, I want 2 11s for a 22. Thank you. They're cheaper than 122. I'll take 2 11s, put them together in the same channel. So, but obviously rubber is a commodity, right? So it's going to change depending on, like you said, the harvest. It maybe if the the fields get more rain one year than another, that's going to change the composition, correct, on the rubber?
Correct.
So, but I remember in the late 80s when I started washing windows with my dad, they were about $1 a piece. You could buy a gross of any rubber for about $150.
Yeah.
And obviously the manufacturing and I'm sure they've evolved. Obviously you said it took a few years to come up with your formulation. So, you're coming out with something that's fast, sharp, and you're coming out with something that's, going to last enough time for the consumer or the window cleaner to feel he's got his money out of it.
Did that coffee cup come with the car or what?
Yeah, when you buy one, you get a coffee cup.
Yeah, my man.
Well, there's tons of money in rubber.
Right? That's great.
No. I'm a huge Formula One fan.
Okay,
So
yes, I know. I'm just busting balls.
Have you ever? You've been to Le Mans, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was telling you, my neighbor is a Vietnam vet, and he's a big Chevy guy, but he went to Le Mans in '66 when Ford GTs took 1, 2, and 3, and he gave me original black and white photographs. What's that?
That's a long time ago. Ford did
that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he they took 1, 2, 4 3 years ago. The GTs 1, 2, and 4.
That's true.
This is the last year running the GTs there, but I've got original black and white photographs of those cars coming across the finish line. It's pretty cool. It's history,
So Acme Window Cleaning Company from San Diego asks, where can we buy Black Diamond rubbers?
Well, he's banned from buying.
He's. We discussed this beforehand. Richie's no longer allowed to buy them.
WindowCleaner.com, they are our official distributor in the U.S. And I have nothing but good to say about these guys when it comes to shipping and handling orders. I am so impressed.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job shipping. I got to say that. They are.
I'm totally impressed. And we had to do the transition, a little bit rush.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, the way Chris and Alex and the whole team, because it's not only Chris and Alex, but that whole team they have over there, they worked their ass off to get this in the air, and it just went smoothly.
Right. And they didn't have to put a kickstand on it or anything, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what, Casper? It's like getting a new pair of pants, right? When you look at your old pants and they're all shit stained up, you say, how could I wear those? But then you put on a brand new pair of pants and you're like, man, these are nice, right?
These are nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw the shitty ones. Throw the shitty pants out. Put the clean pants on.
You can order through their webpage. You can order through our own. Black Diamond. We have our own web store too.
www.blackdiamondsqueegee.com, or the preferred method if you're an American and you're all about the red, white, and blue. Yeah. www.windowcleaner.com. That's where you get it.
But our orders, even the orders being ordered from our website, would be fulfilled by WCR. So,
so it don't matter. It don't matter.
So Casper, the $1 million question I have is, when are we going to be able to purchase T rubber in soft?
It has been made in our factory.
Don't play with me.
We will introduce it. We could. It's a little bit tradition for me, but we're gonna do it in the late summer when the weather starts to cool down a little bit.
Right.
Because soft rubber, I know you love soft rubber, even in Florida.
All the time.
Yes.
I'll make sure you get your soft rubber over. But we will introduce in the autumn and early autumn, and then you can have both types of rubber in both hardnesses.
We have a testimonial here from Acme Window Cleaning Company, San Diego. WCR does a great job. I needed some rubbers last week, and before I even placed my order, they showed up at my door. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. That's the kind of service you will get with Black Diamond Rubber coupled up with WindowCleaner.com. They know that you need rubber, and they're just going to send it to you. They'll deduct it from your account later.
Yeah.
Works great.
That's pretty smart. I hadn't thought about that one.
My Gunslinger 1.1 started ripping on the seam on the inside of the tip jar from channels being thrown in it. But what did we talk? Yeah, we actually have a really good question. I don't, not to be a caveat here or anything like that, but Jonathan Garcia wants to know: do you believe in Bigfoot, Casper? What, no?
Cry out loud! I'm a scientist.
Oh, now what are you gonna do? So what you're gonna do is come on our podcast and try to use like logic and reason against us? Is that what you're gonna try to do? Facts?
You know what?
Are you gonna come to our podcast with facts, sir?
I'll put it this way. Yeah. When I got married to my first wife, I actually spent 4 hours with her on the banks of Loch Ness looking for Nessie.
Oh,
yeah,
see,
but
I can appreciate that.
that was proven to be false, though,
Yeah,
right?
that was proven to be
some guys
false.
before, on
You
their
guys say
deathbed.
Nessie doesn't exist now?
I'm saying Nessie doesn't exist. Yes, because it was a floating plastic model. But
my gosh.
there used to be a
Oh,
Loch Ness
rubber.
monster, but
Hey,
Bigfoot killed it and ate
Casper,
it.
why don't you make one of those fuckers out of rubber?
Yeah.
Big ass fucking one.
We can make a blow up one.
Yeah.
Yeah, big
We
blow.
made so many blow up things anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay, never mind Bigfoot. What about UFOs? Seen any UFOs over there?
I haven't seen any, but I've met a lot of people who have.
Yeah.
Casper's really a letdown. So I guess since Casper's not going to engage with us on stupid shit, we'll go to
For sure.
we'll go there's some questions floating around in the chat right now, Casper, and people are talking about colored rubbers. Is that something that Casper Shoring and Black Diamond Rubber are kind of exploring? Designer. Oh, somebody, Mr. Smarty Pants over here.
Yeah. Yeah. I got white and orange. If we can talk about these, Casper?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
That's actually our rubber you have there.
Yes. So this is obviously because it's a different color. To my understanding, this is a different formulation, correct?
You can't make a natural rubber in color.
You cannot.
Other than black. And black is not a color per definition. So,
Right.
I mean, like, any color rubber will not be a natural rubber.
Okay.
The red one you see there, that's actually an oil-based rubber. That's that's an EPDM rubber. Yeah. That can be made in nice colors too.
Uh-huh.
It performs a little bit like natural rubber. The white one there, that's actually not going to be white in the end. We are actually planning on doing that in blue, and that's a TP rubber. That is ready actually to go in production right now. Mark is doing some final testing on it, and we're just right now we're just testing durability because we know we have the glide there. That's working perfectly.
I will say this. When you sent me samples in the past, I think I had a blue one, I had a red one.
I have a blue
These
one, yeah.
these are far better than those. Now, the one thing I've noticed about both, I prefer the white one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I prefer the white one for my cleaning technique, my style. But I will notice with the both of them, in the difference between a traditional black rubber is they like a lot of water. Okay. So, if you're a window cleaner, like I know TJ does the same thing, I'll wet down 10 to 15 windows if they're not in the sun and pull them. When this particular rubber gets to the point where you're about to re-wet it, they tend to they act different. I can't explain it. They'll actually leave a little bit of water. Okay,
but
so
that is so easy to explain because the natural rubber is the only material that have exactly those things you're asking for. That they can go on even if you wet like 10 windows, you can still work on them with natural rubber. That is just how that is. But let's say, for instance, for a lot of residential guys in Europe who's doing, they very often do like 1-2 windows and they clean them and then go on to the next. So they don't see the same thing like you'll see when you have that technique that you're using. So it's, but the reason for me is not to specific to make it better than natural rubber. But it's just to make rubbers for all type of window cleaners what they like and what they
Right.
Well,
so
I can tell you this.
Have Black Diamond making 5 different types of rubber, and you can pick the one you prefer yourself.
Sure.
It shouldn't be like you only choose this one rubber. That's the only one we have in the world. You should be able to choose whatever rubber you find. And if you find this one better for your application, for instance, I mean, the white one there, we have have really, really good feedback from the UK when they have all these old-fashioned, windows with, I don't know what that material is called, was sold with glass in.
Yeah.
It doesn't wear off so fast because a soft natural rubber wears off way too fast on those things.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what in a residential setting what that will do.
Yeah.
Because just for that reason.
I've got the white one set up in an 18-inch, and the red one is in a 22. Both of them, I was like, I grabbed what I had in my toolbox because I always have a couple spares, and that's what I've been using. I haven't changed them, but I'm thinking I'm going to take the 22 and cut it down to 18, and then I can really get a side-by-side comparison between the white and the red. But I can tell you this, they've been in service for 3 days, and on Monday I cleaned close to 300 windows. They're not showing any signs of dulling out.
No, you didn't, you fucking liar.
Okay. It was 304 windows.
You're a liar, Mark. You ain't got to lie.
I'm working for ESPN.
You told one of your guys to clean those. You just stood there and watched.
My guys were on the same building I was doing the first floor because I'm too old to be doing the building.
Right.
And the building
You're not
actually
too old, Mark.
Here's a funny story how things can evolve. ESPN radio moved into this building. So I walked by there, and you could see them doing a broadcast of sorts. And the building manager says, hey, our new tenant here is complaining the windows are dirty, so we're going to have you do the first floor of this building every month. And now it's 2 towers, right?
Okay.
And the nice thing is after we cleaned up ESPN, everything around it looked so bad, they came back out and said, you know what? Just clean both buildings, first floor, every single month, which is great, but you really need 2 guys to do it because it is seriously close to 400 windows.
That is Mark Tanner's formula to success there, guys, is those monthly accounts. But continue, Mark.
That's everything, man.
Continue, Mark.
Everything. If you can get enough monthlies to cover your nut, then everything else is gravy. That's the way I feel about it. And this particular, adding these 2 building first floors to my company has achieved everything can be paid with my monthlies. And my goal is to get those monthlies done in the first 15 days of the month, because again, then you get the rest of the month for anything extra or just coast through the rest of the month.
After we spoke when you were up here, I've actually been focusing on the monthly thing, and I've actually sold 2 new jobs that go every month. And I was like, man, Mark's right. I need to focus on monthlies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the residential work is nice, but the monthlies are critical.
Isn't any type of business. I said, isn't that how it is in any type of business? I mean, you have to build that base who's going to make you survive every month, I mean, it's the same like we sell a lot of rubber as OEM, or what we call private label. Yeah. Where we just, ship out pallets every month. It's not our rubber. It's not our name, but it's just going out, and we don't have nothing to do with it. I mean, like our own rubber, that's our little fun part.
Yeah. No, that's true. Exactly. You got to get that base. That's the foundation of your business. I know a guy, Kenny. He's on Facebook. Did some high-rise work with me here and there, and he said, "I'm going on my own. Any advice you can give me?" I was lending him equipment. He didn't have, he was a great high-rise guy, and long story short, he comes to me. He's like, I just picked up this building, and I said, that's a nice job, and I hope you got good money. He's like, yeah, and he goes, man, I'm really feeling it's happening. I go, dude, it's not happening. You got to go get something that pays you every month. That building's going to pay you twice a year. What are you going to do the other 10 months of the year? Be humble. Go clean those little storefronts. Go do some houses. But even houses, houses go a couple times a year. Got to get the ongoing revenue, get that as your base, and then you build your buildings and your other things that, So let me ask you another question, Casper. How long is the production run? Like, how many rubbers can your factory turn out in a day? Or feet? Is it measured in feet?
That's good. It depends on what type of rubber we are talking about. The new plant we have set up in Houston, who's going to do the blue or the white one you have right now. That kind of literally, if it goes 24/7, it will make all the rubber who's needed in the U.S.
Yeah,
in like a month's time. So that's
Now, how long are they? How long is the run? Meaning, is it a 30-foot piece and they cut it, or?
Well, when you talk natural rubber, that's made in molds. So we have different size molds. We have 42 inch, we have 40 and a half, we have 37-inch molds, we have 25-inch molds. So they're made in that length, and then we actually cut them down from. I mean, like we use the 40 and a half a lot in the U.S. because that gives us, the 18 and 22.
Yeah.
Which is the best selling. In Europe, we use the 42-inch a lot because 80% of the rubber sold there is 14-inch. So that gives you 3 40-inch out of it.
I've actually recently just started rocking and rolling with a 14. I want to get me a Stacone 14-inch with that nice aluminum. I love those. That one I bought, that 24-incher, that Stacone Squeegee I bought, dude, that thing weighs nothing. Nothing. Yeah. And I'm an Unger guy. And that Stacone Squeegee weighs nothing.
Yeah. I pulled this out of the back. This is a Black Beauty channel. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but this thing is such a featherweight. The problem is, I do a lot of
I'm too manly for this.
No, if you walk next to a shopping cart with this in your holster, it's going to grab the shopping cart and bend. You drop this one time, it's done.
Over. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
All right. Jersey has a question for Casper. He would like to know, what is the weirdest thing anyone has wanted you to make?
I think somebody told him story.
Yeah. Is it one of those things that you suction cup on a table and sit on?
No, if it was just that, I mean, like oh my God, we have been. We have a huge part of making. I mean, like we always been specialized in making smaller quantities because that's how we can do rubber. So we can make small series too. I mean, you wouldn't. By the way, you wouldn't believe how much liquid latex we sell to women in Europe who is making all these concrete, shapes of turtles and flowers and whatever. It's insane. I mean, we sell tons of it. I mean, like it's really insane. But the most weird thing to answer that question is probably we once got an order for a full bodysuit. I mean, like a full rubber bodysuit. I mean, you can imagine that. I mean, there's a lot of people like petty stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it had to have a double head on it.
A double head?
So
it was a guy, right?
There was one head you had on your head itself. Yeah. It was like an outer shell outside. And then you should be able to put pressure on the skull in between those two rubber parts.
Really?
I don't have to say it was for Germany, right? But no. But the funny thing with this was, I mean, like we can make whatever you feel. I mean, whatever you want.
Right.
But I actually went to a doctor to figure out what is this, because they said they need to put pressure on the brain. On the head. And I was like, I couldn't understand why the heck do you want to do that as a fetish? But it seems like no. But when you're born. If you're born the natural way, your head gets so much pressure.
Yeah, like a cone.
And for you to survive that as a baby, you produce enormous amounts of endorphins in that moment. And that's exactly the same thing they're getting by doing this.
Oh, it's an endorphin rush.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking sickos.
It's pretty interesting. So...
we have made costumes for movies too. We actually.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Like you ever do masks or stuff for the movies? Like
we haven't special. I mean, like there's special guys who's using all the latex to make special masks and stuff. Like we don't go into all these details, but we have made some bodysuits for people who are supposed to be more fat than they really are.
Yeah, like Big Mama.
So we actually had like chambers all around the body. You can fill it up with like. We have made chicken fillets in rubber for sorting facilities, so they can scale them and adjust all the meters and.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's some weird shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's been the most weird thing.
So it sounds to me that squeegee rubber is just a very small percentage of
what you
do.
It's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Now, Black Diamond is only the squeegee rubber division What is the rest of it? What's the rest of it called?
We have the G Dive, which is all our dive stuff, what we do. They actually distribute it here in Florida, too. That's actually where I'm here very often. We have our distribution center here in Pompano Beach, a company called Dive Express, who's taking care of all that. But we do OEM there, too, so we also sell to... I mean, like, that's a big part of our business in general. That is, we do stuff for other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have the medical stuff. Right now, we're developing I think it's one of the most genius things I've seen for many years. It actually exists today, but it's a glove you can put on your hand if you have injuries. If you have a gasket on, for instance, and you want to take a shower. There is some systems today. Very often they just use a plastic bag in the hospital and they tape you up and you go and take a shower and then they can take it off afterwards. But that requires manpower and it's expensive to do. So we have made a combination of our knowledge from the dive industry and some plastic, which is my background. So we simply have a poly bag with a rubber seal on the top, so you can pull on. It will stay on your arm when you take the shower. When you're done, you can just peel off a little piece of plastic here, and you can put your finger in, and you tear it open, and the glove falls off.
Nice.
Oh, cool, man.
Nice. So that's for the medical field, obviously.
That's a medical field. Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
medical
what about
stuff?
What about my wife worked in a plant that made sterile wound rinse? Like blow, fill, seal wound rinse. You snap the top off. Yeah. The paramedics would clean, abrasions and whatnot. Is there something? Do you guys design something for like that would be on an ambulance that someone has bad road rash and you just want to seal it up?
Actually, that glove we're doing there has the second edition of it is coming out. When it's coming out, it's going to be the same system, but it's going to have like tubes going in and out.
Yes.
So you can pump it up with a liquid. So let's say come out and somebody has a 3rd-degree burn all over the arm, from a horrible fire. You can put that glove on. You can pump it up with that saline sterile liquid to protect the arm all the way transportation to the hospital.
Yeah, for burn victims and stuff.
Burn victims and everything like that. Yeah.
That's sweet, dude. I learned a bunch already on this podcast. I thought you took rubber trees and ground them fuckers up and made squeegee rubbers out of them. That's how stupid I am.
They tap them like maple syrup.
Man, that's crazy, dude. You learn something new every day, man. Honestly.
I like it because it's a natural material, and it's so basic. And I mean, like a lot of big companies, they don't want to touch rubber that way because, they want to touch the oil-based ones because they can buy them, in big trunks, and just put them into a machine that's just doing it 24/7. Right. We do a lot of handmade stuff, and I love that part of it.
So let me ask you another question. Yeah. Rubber is cured on its own. It's not like a catalyst and a resin. It you just air dry it or you heat it. It goes from a liquid to a solid, right?
You vulcanize it.
Okay, which is heating it, right?
That is heat and moisture.
Okay.
It was actually Charles Goodyear who invented that thing back in the days.
I can tell you guys this right now. These two dudes, when we
here we go. All right.
Fuck it.
Go ahead. Stick it in me. Go ahead, DJ. Stick it in.
These two fucking guys, okay. Mark and Casper.
No, but
listen. No. You've been talking. You and Mark have been talking quite a bit. It's my turn. These two guys, when we were in Kansas City, Missouri, Casper talked about squeegee rubber so long that, I was intrigued, of course, because I have that kind of mind. He talked so much that Joseph Henry Hardy passed out. And I made fun of Joe because we all caught him sleeping. And then Mark sends me a text message because I was over there in the corner. Because every time you turn around, Casper would be like, does anyone have a question? Mark would fucking raise his hand. And all of us are standing there hungry as shit because we've been standing there for 2.5 hours. And he sends me a message. He goes, if you guys don't shut the fuck up, I'm going to make this go to 6 o'clock. These two dudes... Casper's super passionate and very knowledgeable about squeegee rubber. He's like legit. He wants to put the very best product he possibly can in the end user's hands. That's most people know that. And Mark Tanner is a complete asshole. And we'll let him explain himself for hours.
Listen, Casper could tell you that the questions that I ask are questions that I actually watch him have to think. Right. So he's challenged to answer my questions because he knows I legitimately want to educate myself about different things.
Right.
You know, I mean,
instead of, hey, do you make condoms?
Yeah.
Hey, do you make big dildos?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering if he makes those little inflatable sacks that you pump up your wiener with.
Right. Well, I could tell. You talking about wiener implants? Do you make wiener implants, Casper?
No.
No. Well, we almost had a good discussion going on there, but Casper ruined it by not making wiener bladders. I can't believe you don't make wiener bladders, dude.
Yeah.
That was a great time. I had a lot of fun in Kansas City, Missouri, meeting you and everything. That was great, Casper. I had fun with Mark and Richie and.
You know, for me, I mean, like, you have to think about too, because I'm not a window cleaner, so I need the community to talk to me too, and when a guy like Mark comes and asks me these questions, that gives me, you know, input to do things better too.
Of course.
I need that feedback, you know, to make products and to make them better, because I mean, like, I can clean a window, but I'm freaking not good at it.
Right. Well, I've seen you clean some windows. I watched you clean some glass there. You ain't bad. I mean, you're slow as shit, and I'd fire you if you worked for me, but you can clean glass decent. I mean, it looked good when you were done. I mean, it just took most of the day.
But there are so many things into window cleaning, and it's for me too. I mean, like, the passion, you know, I mean, like, it gets into me, and the more I learn about the business, the more I want to dig into it. And that's also, I mean, like, some of the new adventures I'm getting into now is, I mean, it's got nothing to do with rubber, but it's just because I suddenly have seen a passion for the window cleaning industry, and I've seen a lot of shitty products, and I can see an opportunity to make some great products too. So that, I mean, like, it goes both ways, you know. If I get fired up about it, you know, then I mean, okay, my God, I had to dig into this. I had to figure out how to do this better. I mean, like, and that's how I'm driven. I'm driven by
Speaking of shitty products, Pro Wash Missouri says he has a bone to pick with you, Casper. Casper put a squeegee in my 3-year-old's hand and put him on the glass at the Cheap It store in Kansas City. Now my son won't leave the tools alone. Do you remember that kid?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You guys had. Casper even went as far as to get him a good squeegee with a good rubber in it. He's like, here's a smaller one with a good rubber in it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That was box of rubbers to play with.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that was a good time. I had fun. I mean, the barbecue sucked. That was the worst barbecue ever.
We got to it, right?
Yeah, all the food was gone.
And I remember we stayed out of that house. I stayed out of that house with the hanging beds, and
that house smelled like.
Oh, death. We walked through that house.
We went through that house.
I was the last person leaving it, together with Harrison. We fucking had to go out and clean the sinks because somebody from Texas had been puked all over the sink. I'm like,
I knew who that was.
Next time I meet that dude, I'm telling you, I still have it in the back safe for him. You know, he can get it back.
Who, Alan? Alan was puking in the sink? That had to be Alan. No?
What was his name? I'm so bad at names. I'm so sorry, guys, but I'm so bad at names.
That's all right.
The guy with the black hat.
The guy with the black hat. I don't know.
You know who it is. You know who it is when you see him. No,
you'll know who it is when you see him. I just think it's, hey man, that bed and breakfast or whatever. What is it? Airbnb. I'm so glad that me and Josh were like, I'm not sleeping in no Airbnb with Joseph Henry Hardy. That shit ain't fucking happening. And then we get there, and that place smelled like...
Big for himself, you know. Like the rest of us had to sleep in that sharing room.
Oh, it was so stink in there. And there was a lot of bodily fluids, like, strewn about.
Yeah, and rumor has it that the beds that were hanging from the ceiling were rocking all night long, and there was one person in it. That's not a good fit for me.
You know, every time you turn around that bed... the whole shit moved around, you know. Right. And I had my cell phone hooked up, you know, and suddenly it was just boom, boom. Like,
So, Casper, I have to ask, at some point in time, did you bury your face in the pillow and cry yourself to sleep for being there? Because I think I would have.
It just took a certain amount of alcohol, then you didn't.
Right.
I imagine so.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
so Jersey has a question, and I'm interested in this as well. We know you're into the Formula One. What does Casper do when he's not being a scientist? What are your hobbies?
Hobbies. Passions.
Yes.
Formula One is my biggest passion of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It's not so much. It's just the whole thing because it's so complex. With the technique. Especially the tires too. That interests me a lot. All the science going behind. They can choose between different hardness of tires,
Right.
super soft, medium, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
how many laps can they get out of it? It's just. I've been watching Formula One. I can't remember when I started. Probably Niki Lauda was my first car races. That goes way back.
Right.
Yeah. I told you, Casper, you got to come down in May one time, and we'll go to watch the 12 Hours of Sebring, because that is a blast.
Oh yeah, I would love to. I also want to go to the Formula One in
fucking
Texas.
Two rich guys
Okay.
gonna go out and fucking. We're gonna go watch Formula
Dude,
One.
it's
Drink with our
$90.
pinkies in there. Whatever.
It's $90 a
Whatever,
ticket.
fucking douchebags.
No,
I'm not really. As far as racing goes, I'm not a NASCAR guy. I think that shit's whack as shit. Because you're just like spinning around in circles. It's okay, I guess.
Well, it's
you
the
know
experience.
What I mean?
Experience.
I like this. Yeah. I like the Isle of Man TT. I never miss that. That's like the fucking most badass. That is the most badass race ever. Them dudes are doing like 9 gajillion miles an hour on residential streets. You know what I mean? If those dudes fall down, that's fucking it. You know what I mean? They're wiping out the crowd. It's awesome.
I started watching a little bit of rally too from Finland. That is an interesting sport. You're sitting two guys in the car, and one guy is telling the other guy what to do with the steering, and he's just sitting down looking at his map.
That's the one where they're lined up on both sides of the roads, and when they lose it, 500 people go flying.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
Right?
Love it.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's awesome, dude. I like that.
Yeah.
The rally cars is super dope, man. Even the trophy truck racing is cool too. That's pretty. I like that stuff too. Maybe it's because I'm an American and I don't, we don't really see a lot of Formula One. You know what I mean? It's not like it's on ESPN. We're watching tractor pulls and mud bogging. Woo!
Yeah.
Drag racing.
Huh? And it's without commercials.
Right. It's
that. No, for me too. My passion is my job too. I've been self-employed, for the last 25 years, something like that. I don't go home from work because, my work is always with me, but it's not that it's stressful or all that. Just like, I just love my work too. And I love building houses too.
Well, I think I think Mark can identify with that, and I know I can. I take window cleaning everywhere with me. You know what I mean? It's always here somewhere, no matter where I'm at. I'm like, oh, look how shitty that window is. Or you walk past the storefront and you're like, oh man, these people take care of their Jennifer.
Yeah. This is just a coincidence.
Why does Jennifer always have to make us look stupid? I don't understand why Jen's doing this to us. Jennifer, my lovely lady, just pointed out that me and Mark are wearing the same shirts, and she would like to know if we planned that. And yes, we did. We had a conversation about it earlier. I was like, so are we going to wear our Cheap It shirts tonight? And he's like, fuck yeah, we're wearing those. So we wore them. So whatever, man.
Yeah.
I think one of my biggest challenges actually that I am so intrigued when I see stuff and like, how is it made? What can we do about it? And I remember the first time I met Richie in person. That was actually Richie Blue in Kansas. I've been talking to him a little bit on the phone before, about products and stuff like that. That was the days when everything was good, And I was so intrigued about him and his ideas, what he had. I was like, I need to get into his brain, I need to figure out what's going on in there. What is he thinking? What do you want to do? And
all he wants to do is drink coffee and take shits.
Yeah.
We have confirmed this. Mark knows.
Yes. Oh yeah. You know what a Venturi is, Casper? A venturi is an air passage, like a carburetor has a venturi, where you narrow down the airflow and then it naturally speeds up. Well, the same thing happens when you don't completely close the door when you're taking a shit. The other guy
in the room
is downwind no matter what. Yeah. You ever seen what it looks like when they're fueling up an airplane and you see that vapor? That's what it looked like in the bathroom.
I want you guys to make sure that you guys pay attention this fall. Mark and Richie are going to be in the second installment of Goonies 2.
Yes.
Yeah,
they shouldn't make that movie because you're going to ruin it.
They're going to ruin it,
Yeah, they're going to ruin it.
I mean, Sloth doesn't even look the same. You know what I mean?
No, she's working it by your house.
Yeah. Like, she literally...
I'm going to hell so bad.
Yeah, you are.
I knew I had to do it.
That woman... Mark sends me a picture of the receptionist at this Motel 6, and she legit looks like Mother of Sloth. No bullshit. Yeah. Like, no bullshit at all, dude. Like, spot on. Mark's like, look, we're here watching the shooting of Goonies 2. I'm like, dude, you're fucking terrible.
I'm going
but that
to hell.
shit's funny. I was dying laughing. It was hilarious. So, Casper, I mean, you had kind of alluded to the fact that when we first started the show here that you're thinking about, or you have plans that you would like to kind of Black Diamond kind of venture out and do maybe other things. Is that, I mean, are you wanting to delve more into window cleaning equipment? Kind of not stray away, but get away from not focus solely on rubber. Maybe try some other things.
Yeah, to develop something else.
Yeah. I mean, like I've seen so many great things. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen a lot of tools being used too, which I think, I mean, like, okay, that works. That's fine. But, I mean, like, sometimes I've been, like, lacking to see that thing and say, wow, that is actually brilliant. I mean, like, why have that never been done before?
Right.
And some of them are I mean, like, we want, I mean, I want to take up that part of the Black Diamond, and some of the money we make on that business to develop some new products too. That is
kind of invest in window cleaning in a sense.
Yeah, but it's also, I mean, like I'm working on these ideas of how to do it because I have a couple of designers signed up for now who is like been not signed up, but working with who's going to contribute with some nice products but I want to do a little bit more. Kind of the word for it, like a little more democratic way of doing it, sharing a little bit more with the people who actually invented it, getting them more involved, and also get the community a little bit more involved in making the products right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a little bit like give and take.
You kind of, I mean, not
it's
to
selfless thing,
Yeah,
I mean,
it is, and not to bring up something. Not to bring up a low spot in anything, but you kind of have experience with that firsthand, in a sense. You know what to do and what not to do. You're as far as that goes. What I'm saying is I think that you kind of are able to take things in the recent past and capitalize on the fact that this is not the way to do this. There are better ways to do this.
It's a bit like, I mean, like it's kind of the way my business always have been doing it with people who came with ideas to us. But I just want to expand a little bit further. So what I've done in Europe right now is we have set up a team we call the ambassadors, where it's basically people they're not working for me, they're not employed by me or anything like that, but they're just working together with us in making better products. That means they, first-hand testing on stuff, they come with feedback. But not only that, they actually get a part of the whole idea too. So, I mean, like people who are part of the development actually also benefit from it later on. Right. So that way we ensure that their time is paid for. And also they get more involved in actually getting it right the first time. Okay. I mean, sometimes when we try with rubbers too. When we just send out samples to people, we can send out 200 pieces of samples of rubber, and maybe half of them are so kind they actually reply back, to the question whether it was good or not.
Yeah.
very often you get some answers which you really can't use for anything. You need somebody who's more involved in the process, who really wants to. I mean, like, say to me too that, I mean, this is shit. I mean, like, you can't sell this. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like, you need that kind of honest feedback. I mean, like, I'd rather have 10 people telling me it's shit than 9 people saying, yeah, it's okay. You know,
right. Well, in the long run, that saves you, because with the way the internet is and marketing has changed so much to where everything has an electronic footprint on the interweb. Mm-hmm. So you hand out something that's not ready for market, that hasn't been properly tested, it can sink you. Mm-hmm. You know, let's be real here. But if you hand it out to 50 people and say, what's your opinion of it, and you get 40 positive opinions on it, you know you're onto something. You know, I mean, I think all too many times people put stuff out to market that's not ready to go.
Well, you could also have testing and it not be made right. So
exactly.
You see, I mean, especially, I mean, the bigger the companies they get, the more driven they are about growth and revenue. Mm-hmm. And that means that I'm not pointing at anybody specific, but I mean, like, they make products which is really not useful. I mean, like, they just make a product, you know, just to sell more stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of making the right thing and sell that single piece.
Yeah.
And make it the right way, is what you're saying. Yes.
Well, the rubber market and for window cleaning is probably, my opinion, the best thing to market would be rubber, simply because it's an expendable. Mm-hmm. Rubber and razor blades. You can keep a squeegee for 20 years if you don't lose it or break it. But a rubber is going to go a week to 10 days, or maybe less, depending on what you're doing with it, and then it's time for another one.
I've had my Unger Brash channel since 2005. That's what you know what I mean. I still use it.
Yeah. So it's a very good for that.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, the rubber itself, it's a good thing. I mean, it generates constant revenue for us too. And that also gives us this freedom now to dig into something new and say, okay, you know, we can actually spend some of this money to make something. And it's not just bullshit, because I mean, like, I really like great products. I mean, that's why I watch Formula One too, because it's the absolutely super class of cars. I mean, like, where they spend billions of dollars in developing of these cars. You know, it's like,
I can appreciate that.
To make it right.
I can appreciate your passion for ingenuity and wanting things done an awesome way. That'd be, you know, what can you, you know, how can you
I mean, like, for instance, I mean, like, I've been working on a channel for the last 5 years. I hope to be done with it one day. But, you know, I keep getting things onto it with the thing, oh, this could actually be done smarter. And then I meet somebody who's telling me, you know, I've done this to the channel and suddenly it does this. And then, well, we have to go back and try that. And one day it will come out, probably in the next 6 months or so. But then it's going to be a channel which we know is going to be
just Tanner mod from the factory your channels, and then you'll that's all you got.
I don't think I showed you my channels when we met. I drill holes in them. And it makes a hell of a difference in them, in my opinion.
Well,
so
it makes sense, but
I'm
I mean,
still
like,
waiting for mine, by the way.
How many of the channel makers actually do testing where they see how much water they can pull from the glass?
Yeah, none. They're basing it on the width of the channel. That's how much water it's going to take.
I would say Sorbo, he hit something right back in the days when he did his channel. I mean,
no, there's no doubt. Yeah,
because
he set the bar.
Because he made that angle on the back where the rubber is, where actually pulls the water off, and that was brilliant thinking. But I don't think that many people actually think about that's actually a part of what makes it such a good channel, except for being stiff too.
Right.
Yeah. So you get a white.
Shit. Yeah.
So I mean, like, these are the things that I like to dig into and figure out. I mean, like, what is it really who's doing the right? I mean, what makes a difference in this product? Why is it better?
Yeah, Jared pointed something out. Delrin. Do you have any experience with Delrin?
Yes, I know what it is. Yeah.
That is some hard material.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I worked for ICI Chemicals in the UK back in '91 in what's called the Advanced Materials Laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we had to play with. We got to play with all the expensive stuff. I mean, like,
Yeah.
we made chassis, or the bottom of the chassis for racing cars at that time. Every time we press the button to make a test run, $50,000.
Yeah, for one.
Jesus,
yeah, that's
no
crazy.
kidding.
Yeah.
No
Something
shit.
wrong with it. We have to change a little bit over here.
$50,000.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
crazy.
You know, something, you know, a lot of people, you know, and I think me and Mark were talking about this, and I could be wrong, but, you know, a lot of guys like, they're like, you know, do this channel, do this channel, do this handle, do this handle. You know, the one thing I think gets neglected in all of the innovation and window cleaning tools is the fucking washer.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed with nobody really. The scrub is key. I mean, getting the water off the window, yeah. But the scrub is the key, in my opinion. Because, like, you could get a window wet and it still look like shit when you're done squeegeeing it off, no matter if you got a good rubber in there or not.
The only thing that's really changed is, and again, it's my opinion, coming up, doing this for 30 years, once microfiber started to come out, and Unger's got that, and others are going to hate me about it, but I'm going to tell you this. I've tried multiple manufacturers. That Unger green, and they also make it in a red, I believe, that thing will drain a 5-gallon bucket of water. It holds so much water. It doesn't spread bubbles. It's just my employees were using those Wilger sleeves that are the tough sleeves.
So, do you think should I buy a couple of those and try them out, Mark, the green ones?
Dude,
Because I
you will
use
love
monsoons.
it.
I use monsoons.
No, dude, trust me when I tell you, my guys were using monsoons and Wilgers, and I ran out of them. They busted up a mop. I said, this is all I got till we order. I said, I gave them that knowing that was going to be their go-to, and both my high-rise guys never went to anything else again. The Unger green microfiber is amazing.
Really?
But guys, that comes back to, again, Unger has that machine who's doing it. It's Unger making it. It's not, and it's not like a mass product bought from some big factory in in Asia, because we can all go down there and buy, 2,000 microfiber cloths. They're all gonna say that's gonna be the same quality, but it's not. It is really the machinery they have who makes it special.
Yeah.
And not many people can afford to buy a machine like that.
Right.
No, well, just like these, look, the big water-fed pull explosion that happened over the last couple of weeks, and there's and I'll just say it, Perry once put out a video walking through the factory where they're wrapping on the mandrels the carbon fiber and then pressing it and heating it, and you see these machines run out, and half the guys on the internet are like, oh my God, look at that, and it's fascinating to watch. Okay, but I was the first one that goes, there's no way that's his factory.
No, that's not. No. I mean, like there's only I think there's like 4 of them now.
Yeah,
as far as I know.
You could not make enough poles to support one company selling. No. That's a multi-million-dollar machine.
That's why you have to sew shit on fucking pads to stick to brushes to keep.
No, that's why. I think it's been out in the open so long now. But you can buy all these different poles, and I don't know how many there's in the market right now. 50 different pipe brands or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's all made from the same places, more or less. So it depends on how you combine them.
Yes. That's where they separate each other, is wall thickness and section heights and stuff like that. That's where they separate themselves. You know what I mean?
You know what the thing is, though? I've been approached, and maybe some of you have, as a window cleaning company, by a couple people from China that they can sell you the blanks.
Yeah.
They'll sell you the blanks, and guess what? You could buy enough blanks to make a 50-foot pole. It's going to cost you $350. Of course, it doesn't come with the ends. It doesn't come with the clamps. To me, as a business owner, I want a tool that I put on the glass and it makes me money. I know I'm going to pay a premium for it. If you think I'm going to start sourcing clamps and end defenders, and there's no kind of warranty on anything like that.
You also need service from the provider.
You think I'm going to go out? You think I'm going to go out as a window cleaner and search for a kickstand for my water-fed pole? You think I have time to do that kind of shit? I need the kickstand straight from the factory. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
That's what I need.
I need it. I've heard that there's one called the Bigfoot that holds 12 gallons of water.
Yes.
So when you fill it up, you
No,
practically
it's the
break your
bad
back.
monsoon or the mad
Yeah.
monsoon or some shit like
There's
that.
a Bigfoot one.
There is a Bigfoot
There's
one, but there's one
yeah.
that holds 15 or 20 gallons of water. It's got a
Yeah.
kickstand on it. It's called
Yeah.
the bad monsoon.
Yeah, it's got hydraulics to stand you
Yeah.
up when you put it. But they probably fail and blow hot oil everywhere.
Right.
But my windows are clean, but the sidewalks are slick. What's all that oil? Clean up that mess.
Oh, we're the biggest
Well, I mean, like-
douchebags ever.
There's still places where they're making carbon fiber outside of China, and
Mhm.
carbon fiber poles too. But the problem is too, it's labor intensive, it's a lot of work, and they get too expensive. I made a project once for a company down in Switzerland who was making carbon fiber too,
Mhm.
but they're specialized in bikes and make bike parts out of carbon fiber, for racing,
Mhm.
and it just costs an arm and a leg. It's like insane expensive.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to say something that's probably going to hit a nerve in certain arenas, which is fine. But, for instance, 10 years ago, United States started really implementing LED lighting into traffic lights, into flashlights, into home lighting, to all kind of things. Okay, the company called Rigid, which makes hand tools and power tools and cordless tools, actually built a factory in the United States to do nothing but LED lights because they knew that was the wave of the future. Which now that's almost old technology because they're coming out with these wafer lights that are, this big and they light up the whole backyard. But point being, and here's where I'm going to get in trouble. Once China gets involved, dude, we got traffic lights here that half the light doesn't come on. I put them in my house. They're supposed to last 10 years. Shit ain't lasting.
They're
5.
fucking leaking
Junk.
all over the place.
Yeah. Once they yeah. No, but once the market saturates and it comes from over there, it seems to be junk. Right. It really does. It just loses its quality. And to some of us, I'd rather pay a premium and never worry about it again.
Right.
The market becomes saturated and then they start turning out crap.
Yep.
Well, that's a hard battle to fight because 9 out of 10 guys, they would go down and say this one cost me 90 cents and that one cost me $1.50. I'm going to take the one for 90 cents.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not to get in trouble with anybody. That was the reason why I've been driving German cars for a lot of years because I just know it's made so freaking good. No shit there.
Yeah.
Not about buying cheap parts and putting into the car and put it on the street. It's just it costs a fortune.
When you can find your parts in Cracker Jack bags.
Where
are you at? Where are you at in life? You know what I mean?
But I would say this too. And I think it's harsh to judge all of China in one basket because there are actually quality manufacturing out there too.
And I would agree because a lot of the window cleaning.
That's the thing.
Yeah, a lot of the window cleaning tools that we use are from China. It just depends on your standard, the company standards that's selling them to you. You gotta, and whether or not products are vetted properly, like you were saying before, especially products that are going to be used a million times. You know what I mean? And that's really what we're doing as window cleaners. We're using something like a factory robotic arm is going to go over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
It's got to work every single time. You know what I mean? Sometimes for people, tall people that shit their pants, they don't know because they don't do what we do. So what you were saying before about Casper, what you were saying before about being responsible and working with the end user, that's and listening to them, but also that's only one part of it. The other part of that is delivering on the end user's advice and making, bringing that all to fruition. That's not a very easy thing to do.
Nope.
Yeah.
And that. I'm sure you know that as a rubber manufacturer, because now you're even, and I'm sure in the infancy of your company, there was probably some things you had to get right that weren't right.
Well, you think about this. You send take window cleaning out of the equation, and you send a hospital, right? These sleeves that he mentioned, and they're defective. There's a whole nother animal compared to some bad rubber squeegee blades.
Right.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is too. I look every time we're sourcing something when we are making a new product. I'm not limited to look to one certain area. It's not like I only look to one area. I mean, we have manufacturing today in China, we have in the US, we have in Sweden, we have in Denmark, and we have something in Germany too. So it all depends on where it is the right place to do it. Because certain parts can easily be made. I mean, like one place. I mean, like for us, for instance. I mean, the new facility in Houston there, who's going to make the blue rubber there. It's just because it's fully automated. We have made the machines now, so they can run 24/7. Nobody needs to take care of them. Then it makes sense to do it there.
Yeah. Everything is becoming automated like that.
Same to run whether the machine stands in Texas or stands in Copenhagen or stands in Shanghai. It's exactly the same cost because if it's the same machine.
Yeah. You know what, Casper, I want to tell you something because I brought this up on a podcast that you might have listened to. So stop me if you have. But I have a buddy that works for Niagara Water. Niagara Water bottles the water and sells it nationally, maybe even internationally. They do a lot of private labeling for the grocery stores that put their name on it. They make his plant, which is one of the smaller plants. It's brand new. It opened up 2 years ago here in Florida. Does 145,000 bottles an hour. Okay? That plant is almost what they call a lights out plant, meaning no one has to be in there. Okay? So that water comes off out of the machine. It's all labeled. It's packaged. It's on a conveyor. A robotic forklift picks it up. The truck driver, the only thing he does is he has a transponder, tells him what door to go to. He has to get out and open the back of the truck, right? And then he stays in the truck, and the robots load the truck based on the delivery.
Listen,
it's amazing.
I can't get behind that.
That's the way things are.
A lot of Americans out of jobs there, boy.
But look, I mean, like, you know what? I graduated in '92 from college, right? So that means in 1990 I went to Lego, who is a Danish company. I went to visit their factory back in 1990. So that is almost 30 years ago. Do you know how many people worked in production?
None.
None.
No kidding.
Really? Yeah.
Nobody worked in the production area.
Wow.
The machine was just, I mean, if you get like a standard, 2x4 brick, red.
Yes.
The machine just.
Man.
Yeah, the money's in the design of it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I'll get Lincoln Logs now. Fuck them Legos, man. I'm done playing with Legos. I used to love Legos when I was a kid. That was the one thing I was always messing around with Legos.
Oh, that was my favorite.
See, they didn't have a lot of kits back when I was a kid. You just bought like a big bucket of them shits, and then you just started putting shit together.
Well, there you had to be creative. My kids are of the generation to build, the X-wing fighter from Star Wars. That shit drives you crazy trying to put it together.
Oh yeah, I know. Uriah would ask for one of those almost every Christmas. Can Santa Claus bring me, this X-wing? And I'm like, I looked at Jen. And I always make Jennifer put them together because it pisses her off. I'm like, Daddy don't know how to do it. Mommy's got it, and she just look at me, with angst. But as soon as he gets done with that it lasts 5 minutes. He drops it and all over the floor. Yeah. And she just looks at me and I go hide.
I actually built the X-Wing fighter when I was a kid. When Star Wars came out.
Yeah.
But that time there wasn't any special brakes. You had to build it from the small ones.
Oh, right.
Yep.
I think it took me like.
Yeah.
And my mom was getting crazy because we had to go to the store and buy new brakes all the time because I'm missing some of the gray ones, Mom.
Yeah. And you ever notice there's something about Legos that when Uriah does drop it on the floor and everybody feels bad and picks it up, there's always that one piece that you're going to step on with no shoes on in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like stepping on a razor.
Did you guys see what they just built at the Lego factory? They built the new Bugatti.
Yeah, I've seen
that. 1-to-1 with engine in. It can drive in a Lego.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude. Insanity.
We have that. I have never been there, Casper, but they have the Legoland in Orlando. Everything is Lego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you think I used my childhood summer vacations? That was in Legoland.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's cool.
That's good.
Legos, nerds.
Yeah.
So
I wanna
we've
ride it.
talked about rubber, where rubber comes from. We talked about where to get it. www.windowcleaner.com is where you get your Black Diamond Squeegee rubber, or Black Diamond Squeegee rubber, or Black Diamond Squeegee.com. That's or there. Either way.
But just as well go to windowcleaner.com.
Yeah, you might as well just go there and get it.
Yeah. So Casper, I want to ask you something. These colored rubbers, like the ones I'm testing for you now, you are making those for different areas, different styles of window cleaning. Also, is it something that could be possibly a little bit cheaper than the natural rubber, or the process is still the same?
Boy, way to put him on the spot.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I know you're not in full production, so.
I'm not in full production. It might. I mean, like we're probably not going to make it cheaper in the beginning. We need to see it out first. You know how it works out, how much we can optimize. Because I mean, like you have to think about it for the squeegee rubber. We've been doing that for almost 20 years now. So we got all the processes in order. When we change to material, we have a lot of adjustments to do. You know, and figure out. And we are also testing different raw materials over time. You know, we're using one prime material right now. It might be we can actually subsidize some of the material. I mean, like that's what we've been doing with the natural rubber too, because I mean we're trying to keep pricing as low as possible all the time. Still making money, of course, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
But doing things smarter all the time. I mean, like that's really a way you can avoid some of these price increases.
Well, so let me ask you this, and again, if I'm putting you on the spot or saying something you don't want to answer, but I think you'd be able to answer this. Traditionally, from what I am understanding,
I thought you were going somewhere else. I was going to.
No, the Black Diamond rubber is traditionally, for a long time, was a little bit more cheaper than some of the other name brand. Now, is that because everything it's in house from your company, and or what I'm asking is like, does Sorbo make their own rubber? Maybe they have their formula, like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, but do you own the plants?
Yeah. Do all the rubbers come out just like all the carbon fiber poles?
Yeah.
Is it
some of them do? Some of them do.
So there is okay. But you manufacture your own rubber?
What's it? Yes.
You do or no?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have our own formulations for everything. We have our own molds. We have our own machinery for it too.
Okay.
We've been doing it for other brands for years. There's some brands we haven't done it for. I'm not going to tell you who we have done it for, who we haven't done it, because that's of course a secret.
Right, of course.
Privacy for these companies. But I see no problem in doing that either. I mean, like if every company should have their own little rubber department to do this, I mean, like that'll be insane. Doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you see that for every product you buy out there. I mean, like you'll see these no-name products. I mean, like ketchup. I don't know how many companies Heinz manufacture ketchup for, but
right.
I mean,
yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Kroger ain't making their own ketchup. Put it that way.
No,
yeah.
They just is they take the ketchup that falls on the floor and puts it in a bottle, and then they put the Kroger label on it. That's what they do.
We have one rule, and that is we never use the same formulation for any customer. So if a company orders rubber from us and asks us to make a specific rubber, let's say a round top rubber, we'll never ever use the same formulation as we use for any of our other rubbers. So we will develop a specific rubber for that customer based on what they want it to be.
And so those customers, do you formulate for them, or they come with the formula and say, this is what we need you to run?
They come with the request, and then we formulate out of that.
Oh, okay.
For instance, we have made a rubber. Actually, that's actually very very interesting. We have made one rubber. That's actually for ourselves. We want to make a rubber who lasts forever, ever. And it doesn't last forever, ever. But it'll last a hell of a long time. I mean, like probably you can use the same rubber for like 3-4 months without changing it.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen some of the window cleaners I've seen.
Yeah.
Trust me.
No, but the outside of this rubber here, and that is actually titanium.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
No kidding, man. That's wild.
You have titanium coating on the rubber. 2 microns of titanium on the outside, but it has been modified so it's more flexible than the rubber itself.
Wow. That's amazing.
The problem is it's expensive to develop it. Doesn't cost so much to put it on, but of course you have to pay for these development costs. So
right.
My question to you would be like, would you pay 100 times more for rubber who could last you 500 times as long?
Yeah, no. Well, window cleaners are notoriously cheap.
That rubber.
Yeah, we're cheap as fuck, Casper. You know that.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome.
See the T-shirt? We're cheap as fuck.
Yeah.
No, but it came out of because we were actually doing some experiment for the military where we were doing coatings for the rip boats or the what do you call inflatable boats they have for the Marines. And the problem is very often when they go to shore, they don't know what kind of terrain they're going into, and there could be like branches sticking up from the water who will very make a hole in the boat.
Right.
So you need to have that hard surface on the rubber on the bottom of the boat.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's interesting.
Man.
Yeah.
Some more interesting from Casper. So I don't know, man. I think this is a semi-awesome podcast with Casper.
I think it's a great podcast with Casper.
I think it's super excellent that you came on with us. I honestly do. I think, and now that you've got yourself a kick-ass distributor that will mail shit on time, the future's looking bright, man. You know what I mean? Because I think you got a hell of a product.
To get that off my shoulders too. My passion is in the product development and making new things. Not as much as into distribution, and that's why we need somebody who's taking care of it for us. Mm. And WCI's just. It's. I didn't believe it could be that great. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm really, really impressed about their dedication, and they have. They have stock. Of course, we had little issues when we just started up because literally we had to fly in. I don't know how many air bills I have for.
Yeah.
You can imagine if you have to get pallets flown in, that's pretty expensive. But that was just the cost we had to suck up, to get it rolling. But now they have inventory and we have pallets rolling into them, on a constant basis. It's great.
So now
everything and
the sky's the limit.
Yeah, and there's my guarantee then too is if you have any issues ever, just let me know. We'll book an airplane and get it over. It's more important that people get their rubber on time than anything.
That's very important to me.
Yeah, are there any rubber manufacturers stateside? Or everything No. Yeah.
Why don't we do shit here anymore?
Because it's cheaper to do it everywhere else.
Oh.
And there's been a tendency of getting it out, and for instance, Sweden, where we manufacture rubber too, they have a tradition of doing it. So they have, they have the people who's doing it, they have the skills for it, and a lot of it is like a craftsman's job. The formulation we use for the dive stuff, that can, we tried ourselves to take the exact same production facility and move it down to Florida to make it. Mm-hmm. We just didn't think about the humidity.
Ryan King, the cheapest shirts are limited edition. You have to be super fucking cool to have one of these, dude.
Well, we're gonna get Casper one. Definitely.
Yeah, we're definitely getting Casper one.
Yeah, and because Casper's getting one, after he receives it, he's coming back on the podcast with it.
Yeah.
Even if we gotta send you a sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would put one on every time.
That's okay.
You came prepared, Casper.
Yeah, every time I see you, you're driving a rental, so I'm not going to waste a cheapest sticker on a rental, but when I see you in that BMW, you're getting a sticker.
That's great.
You'll see Alamo and Fort Lauderdale Airport. They have 10 cars now with cheaper stickers on.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, we are an hour and 30 minutes into this podcast, so we got about, I'd say maybe 20, 30 minutes left. Is there anything else, Casper, that you would like to, is there anything you'd like to, any place you guys, you'd like to send people or people to watch out for? Or is there anything you got going on, Casper, that you'd like everyone to know? Or, future plans? Are you going to start?
Well, yeah, I have a business plan here, by the way. I was just going to pull up for you so you can see it.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to give you an opportunity to plug your shit, man. You know what I mean? So you could buy another Ferrari coffee mug.
No, but you know what? I mean, like, I rather put the products out there when they're ready, instead of sitting and bragging about what we're going to do. But I will brag a little bit.
Right.
And
so essentially what you're saying is keep a lookout, because Casper's gonna try and do some more cool stuff besides Black Diamond Squeegee Rubber. You're definitely gonna do it. I like that.
But it's not just me, and that's I think that's very, very important here, because it's actually the people I work with who is actually, I mean, I'm just the organizer, put it that way.
Right.
There are some great people I'm working with right now, and I'm very, very proud to be able to work with them.
Right.
And it's going to make some really, really awesome products. And,
That's awesome.
I know because it's been shown to certain people, and the feedback and the response to these products are so great.
That's great, man. I'm excited.
Awesome.
Dude.
And it's about new thinking too. I mean, some of them are simple tools, simple things.
Right.
Just make it right and take the right parts and put them together and make that product just super from the beginning.
Right. Well, I can tell you,
brand new invention, everything. I mean, like sometimes you just make things better.
Keep it simple. Yeah, keep it simple for sure. I could tell you tell the listeners watching that, and I need to get it up. The dude, like, just the 35 minutes he talked to us in Kansas City about rubber. You could it was oozing out of him that he wanted to do.
Rubber in your veins. Yeah.
Not even so much rubber in his veins, but the passion to do cool shit and leave his mark on an industry, in a sense. It just squirts out of Casper. He just, he's that dude. He's that guy that wants to do cool shit. And that's you gotta appreciate. It's just like with Richie. Richie's the same kind of person that he just wants to do cool shit. You know what I mean? You gotta respect people like that. Philip Alexander, he just wants to do cool shit. You know what I mean? And it just comes out of them. They can't control. Casper and Richie have a measure of composure. Philip Alexander has none. You know what I mean? But it's that same kind of passion that drives any industry further. And Casper's one of those people that you can be pretty damn sure that in the future, Casper is going to bring you something that's kick-ass. And you're going to want it. You know what I mean? And it's going to be made right. And that's the main thing, because I could tell you, I was a huge Black Diamond supporter. Ever since I wrote him the email to get my free sample, long time ago, super long time ago. As soon as I used the stuff, I was like, man, this stuff it's not only does it work really well, it's also cheap. You know what I mean? And I can appreciate that. And after meeting Casper, I'm like, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. The product that I've been using and the guy match up perfect. You know what I'm saying? They're perfect.
What's the guy who actually wrote out the 3 samples in different names?
Say that one more time?
Didn't you order 3 samples, but just in different names, but the same address?
Yeah. Okay. That was me. I was trying to get free sample after free sample after free sample, but Black Diamond Rubber is A1 in my book. I really like the stuff, man. I really, really do. I'm glad that WCR is your U.S. distributor now, because the one that you had before fucking blowed huge horse balls, and it took a long time to get stuff, and that was not characteristic of you. That was not like Black Diamond Rubber. Usually when you ordered something, it was bam on time, and now it's back to that, and I think that's awesome. I'm super happy for you, man, and I am. I think Mark can agree. We're excited about the future. That's kick ass, man. I'm super stoked, man. You could see it on your face when you're talking about it that you're excited about it, Casper. That's cool.
Yeah. No, but I am. I mean, I just love it.
Jason Lehman says that he's been a Black Diamond user since the huge convention in 2015. So you make an impression on people, Casper.
First show in the U.S. actually.
This is the one podcast people requested the most out of everything. Even before you started working with Perry and then stopped working with him, even before that, people really wanted you to come on the show because a lot of guys got to meet you in Kansas City, and like I said, you're just a person that people want to see and talk to. You're a good dude, and we appreciate you. So
hey, thank you guys.
Yeah,
appreciate
no problem.
Thank you,
Marcus.
The one thing I would like to go back to one day. I mean, like, it's not going to be tonight, but we can do one day. Mm-hmm. And there's actually a lot about the technique and rubbers and different channels, and especially a guy like Mark who's using, for instance, soft rubber even in the warm weather. I think there could be a lot of explanation done there who can probably teach people a little bit about how to use the rubbers the right way. I mean, there's a huge difference from using, the squeegee by hand, if you have it on a pole, how to position the rubber, which type to use, and all the stuff. There's a lot of information there, which could be good education for the community too.
Sure. Well, I would tell you right now that you'd be super disappointed in the way I use your rubber. I just throw it in the channel and just go to town. And once I start to leave rainbows, I flip it over and it's good to go again.
But you know what? I mean, this is actually, I think this is the very important thing, and I said that in Kansas City a couple of times too. It's all up to the cleaner, I can tell you a lot of things about how to do it and what you should do and what you shouldn't do, but it's what's right for you in that situation. Well, but if you have issues and you want to have them explained, or you want to have them, like a scientific answer to what you're doing wrong, then I can probably help you.
Right. Yeah. Well, everyone's going to be different. And that, it's good that you're aware of that, because not everyone uses things. Not everyone uses things the same way. Not everyone does things the same way. There's so many of us out there that do so much shit differently. You know what I mean? It's good that's a good headspace to be in. You know what I mean? To know that, not everybody's going to be the same, but it works, man. I like it. Does Detroit Sponge sell Black Diamond Rubber?
No.
Nope. Henry, you're wrong.
Racenstein have them.
Racenstein has them. So
Harry Falk sells a little bit, but she just calls it round top rubber. She doesn't put the name on it. And Richie is a good friend in San Diego. I can't remember her name. I keep forgetting it.
Randy Teakin.
Yeah. She has it.
Yeah. All you got to do is stop putting Black Diamond Rubber on it, put Squeegee Life on it, and then you'll start selling even more.
Yeah,
we're
Squeegee
cool.
Life approved.
Yeah, because we're cool.
Just let me know.
Dude, hey, listen, man. Your cool factor will multiply by tenfold. What is it? Mark says, laughing my motherfucking ass off times a billion. Yeah, you will be so much more cooler if you do that. You know what I mean? I think it's
just the goals. It's easy.
So, are you going to the huge convention this year? You said you're going to try and make it out. That's cool, man. So, everybody out there listening, I know that's an event coming up. I'm not plugging it for them or anything, but, if you want to maybe possibly meet Casper, you could possibly meet Casper in Kansas City, Missouri. You know what I mean? Or not, no, Branson. It's Branson, Missouri. Where did Mark Tanner go?
Uh-oh.
Where'd you go? Where did your camera go, Mark?
How's that? Am I back on?
Yeah, there you go. Were you leaving again?
No, it was just
Mark
daydreaming. I was daydreaming about rubber.
You rubber. Mark fucking premature ejaculation over here.
I haven't been to the huge convention for some years. The last time was in Washington. That was a little disappointing, but I'm looking forward to going back now, and it's going to be great. I have seen the list of things coming there, and I know WCR is going to have a booth, going to have our products there too. There's going to be some samples to hand out too. So people haven't tried it. There's a chance to try it there. Sure.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And you guys, like Casper said, maybe sometime soon you'll be seeing a new different blend of black diamond rubber on the market here one of these days soon after he vets it. So
yeah, depending on how we're going to do it, I'm thinking of making a little pack, where you get all 3 types of rubber, so you can.
My address. I'm a little disappointed that I don't have an orange rubber and a white rubber, but whatever. Fuck Mark.
We went to lunch. Casper had it with us.
We went to lunch.
Showed up for lunch.
Give me some rubber, Casper.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey.
we're like 30 miles apart. That's
Right.
all.
Well, I want to tell you that I want to take this opportunity to thank you personally, Casper, for the gross of rubbers you sent Jordan Miner for the 100th episode.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that. That was very generous of you. And I did you a favor and didn't make you send both because you promised 2 gross, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's time to end this
You send that
podcast.
home to you privately instead, right?
What's that?
Didn't you ask me to send that home?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Make me a winner, Casper. I want to be a winner too.
Yeah.
You can buy your rubbers, can you?
Yeah, I can buy them, I guess. I mean, if you're gonna make me buy shit, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Dude, I'm just looking forward to that soft coming out as soon
Yeah,
as it comes
you
out.
just make fucking soft rubber so Mark will shut the fuck up about soft
yeah.
T-top
Hey,
rubber. Jesus.
Just gonna send him a bag now so he can shut up at least for a couple of months.
Yeah,
know?
listen,
Yeah.
I'm telling you. When we left Kansas City, Missouri, that's all Mark talked about for fucking like 6 months. Is, when's that soft rubber coming out? I thought they was gonna make. I bought this rubber and it's not soft. It's medium.
Wait a minute. Let me back the truck up since if we're gonna tell the story, we're gonna tell the true story. There were rubbers in that case that were labeled soft. And hard.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I got mine that
Mark
I paid
likes it
for
hard.
6 months later, there was no UPC code or anything. So I'm like, well, what exactly are these? Are they soft or hard? And they were medium. I just didn't prefer it as much as I would prefer the soft.
Medium.
So they sent me something that not what I asked for. So I know
You can.
now that Casper's got it coming out, I'm gonna get the right stuff.
Yeah, if you guys are still super duper butthurt about the windowcleaner.com thing, you can order your squeegee rubber from blackdiamondsqueegee.com. Unfortunately, it's going to come from WCR, and then you're going to be super butthurt about it. But it's going to show up on time. You know what I mean? But what the main thing that you have to focus on here is that you're getting black diamond rubber, and Casper is cashing the check for it. That's all you guys got to worry about. All this other shit just doesn't make sense. But yes, you can, if you'd like, you can order it directly from Casper. But if you live in the United States, WCR is the North American distributor. Am I correct? They're kind of the ones that are shipping it out. Am I right? So, no matter what, Chris and Alex are going to rub their sack all over that shit. You're still going to get it it doesn't matter. Just, it's a great product. Just, you should buy it just because it's Casper's. All that other shit should not be in the equation at all. And even still, Alex and Chris are pretty fucking good dudes. You know what I mean? I can tell you that personally. Over the last 5 or 6 months, I've getting to know both Alex and Chris. They're great guys. And Casper wouldn't be raving about them if they weren't great guys. They're good dudes, man. They're good dudes. So you can't go wrong.
I had my doubts, of course, when I'm changing, and especially because it was like a fast and forced change, But everything, it sounds stupid to say, but everything was just fucking good.
Yeah, I would be a little trigger shy too if I was getting shit splattered on me every time I walked into, I would just like, man, what do I do here? I'd be a little gun shy too. That was a shit show. So, there'd be, and I feel like they pulled it off. That was seamless, man. Just boom, done, just like that. That's the way it needed to be. Roll up the garbage, the poopy pants, throw them in the trash, and grab the new pair out, and boom, the shit comes on time. That's all that matters, is that you're getting a quality product on time. That's the main thing. You know what I mean? And Casper's said here several
I've
times.
seen that
He's
too. I've set
dedicated
up the
to that.
machinery with them. Everything has been set up.
Right.
I spent like 5 days, training all the people out there, in the warehouse, in the packaging and everything. So we know everything is done the right way, and they've just been so committed to getting this thing just right from the beginning, and it's been awesome.
Right. That's great, man.
I haven't had one single customer calling me since we have changed.
And before?
And before, was it bad?
I had to
did you
change
get
your
a lot?
number,
Did you get
Casper?
a lot of?
I tried to call you.
Yeah.
Why'd you change your number, Casper?
Yeah. Why'd you change your number, Casper? I just want to know. Did you get a lot of emails and stuff like that before the switch?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I did. I know I messaged you like, dude, what
Death
the
threat-
fuck? I've been waiting
death
fucking
threats?
2 months for fucking the dozen rubbers, you motherfucker.
I have to tell you one thing. I was fucking sick and tired of you at a certain point. There's 1 dozen of rubber,
Yeah. Well, I fucking wanted it. I paid for it. I wanted it. You were like, dude, it's not me.
I had to step into myself in the end, and we actually shipped some things from Europe to customers in the US
Right.
just in a transition because it was just to get things in place. It's expensive, but you know what? It's all about people having trust in what we're doing, and
Right.
we're gonna stick to our word.
Right.
That we provide things, ship on time and everything.
Right. Yep. That's, man, again.
So,
you
I have a
gotta,
question, Casper.
Go ahead.
Are the rubbers that you send from over there, do they have any kind of date code on the packaging?
No.
Like you buy tires for a car, a good tire dealer gives you the date code, the born on. So you're turning over enough rubber to where we know we're getting something that's not 2 years old, obviously.
You will never get rubbers who's more than 2 or 3 months old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool, man.
We go through the pallets, So, that's actually a little a lie because you could get rubbers who's probably like 3-4 months old at worst.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's still, that's nothing.
Yeah. Because they're properly packaged and everything.
Well, get ready because
here it's factory packed, so it's like it's sealed bags and everything until it gets out for the cutting and trimming, and so yeah.
I can tell you right now, sales are going to double. You hear me?
The turnaround for the rubber is normally 30 days from it gets in to gets out.
Well, the profits are going to double. Because you came on this podcast, people are going to be buying the shit out of this rubber.
I hope so.
We are very influential in the fucking window cleaning game. Me and Mark, we
we
are the ones that grease the wheels around here. If you get what I'm saying, and Mark are blowing the in crowd on every day. That's what we do here.
So Casper,
if it doesn't double next month, I can just send you a little invoice for sales.
So basically, if I walked into your factory and grabbed a rubber right out of the machine and went to use it, it wouldn't be any better than something that's 2-3 months old.
Yeah.
No
That's
difference.
kick ass, man.
Yeah.
It's kick ass, dude.
One of the things we have been working on actually lately for the last year and a half is actually the break-in time on the rubber, and I actually think we got better at it now. When you get a rubber, sometimes you have to run a little bit before it works. And actually, we've done a lot of testing, blind testing too now, and it seems like the rubber actually it works instantly when you pull out of the back.
Yes, I will say this. I have noticed the change in that the break-in time. I have noticed that because usually when I put a new rubber in, I'm just so used to it. I take a wet rag, I'd dip my, get my squeegee set up, and then I'd run my rag over it a couple times just to try to
get the film off.
Yeah, just get the film off, and it start boom. But now I haven't been having to do that as frequently as I used to do, so that's cool, man. Fernando Trevino would like to know, what about when it says Gummy Fabriken Type A? What does that mean? Could you say that?
That's actually our Danish name for the company originally.
Oh, okay. So he actually has
that is
that
our. Who has that rubber now?
Fernando Trevino actually has a few pieces of that rubber. I do too, because I ordered like 12 samples from 15 different names. I actually still do have a set of 2.
His dog got Your dog's got
Yeah,
a sample.
yeah.
Cash got a
Yeah,
sample.
yeah.
And Frank got a
we,
sample.
we put that mold on retirement, I think, like 2 years ago.
Oh, cool, man. So if you have that, like, put it away. It might be worth nothing later.
Yeah.
I was saying it might be worth money one day.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. You never know.
You know what? It's funny you're saying that thing about the actresses. We did the same thing in the UK once, and we did like a free sample. That was the worst thing I ever done in my life.
Yeah.
So every person in that one window cleaner's family had got a fucking sample of rubber.
But you know, they have postal code is like six. It's a combination of letters and digits, and that zip code actually tells you very exactly where it is. But when you suddenly get like we had some, I mean, like 10 requests for samples to the same zip code with all different names on, you know.
Yeah.
That's great. How do you not know there's 10 different window cleaners there, Casper?
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, do you realize how many window cleaners there have to be in that city?
Yeah. That's true.
It was a small town of 2,000 people, and they had 44.
So let me ask you something, Casper. You've been pretty much, it sounds like, around the world. So my question to you is, window cleaning in other countries, I mean, is America one of the best places to be a window cleaner, or is that just what we think because we're here? The market, you know.
What do you in your opinion?
No, but it's funny because it's so different around the world how it is. In the US, I see more business people being window cleaners than I see window cleaners being window cleaners.
Okay. Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm like it's more business orientated than it is like the single guy with a bucket and a bicycle and a ladder on the back.
I don't have a bicycle because, of course, as you can see, I'm fat. But I am the single guy with the bucket and a pickup truck.
I think you see more willingness in the U.S. to do the investment, to do the things right and more efficient, than anywhere else. You see a lot of systems are different too. I mean, for instance, the water-fed pole thing. I mean, like you use RODI. I mean, like in Europe, not many people uses that because they have the tank of water with them, because they can't get water when they go out to the customer. And also the water is more clean over there, so they only use the DI, as I think it is, right? Some countries, you know, window. I mean, like in the U.S., I look more like window cleaners, like professional business people who's running a business. A lot of other places around the world, you'll just see is like that's the way people can make a living.
Right. I see what you're saying. It's you're in America. In America, it's a little more. How do you say? A little more entrepreneurial. Like
it's more evolved. But I can remember back when I started 30 years ago. It wasn't. You didn't see a company with 5 employees and 5 trucks.
Right.
You saw a guy with a helper.
Right.
That was a big company, you know, and it has evolved to more, you know, more of a recognizable entity.
I think window cleaning in Europe, to me, I guess the way I would explain it is window cleaning in Europe to me is a little more humble than it is in America. You know what I mean? It's more of like a salt of the earth kind of job in Europe, and over here there's a bunch of guys that are trying to wear Gucci shoes and shit. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, if you go on pro window cleaning, TJ, if you go on pro window cleaning, okay, there's like 15,000 people on that page, and there's actually 14,999 of the best window cleaners in the world on that page. They're all the best. Those guys are the best. Yeah.
No, but if you look, I mean, if you look at Europe, if you look at Scandinavia, if you look at Holland, Belgium, Germany, it's very similar to the U.S. too. I mean, it is a lot of professional too, but there's also some small guys, but it's run very professional too. I think.
Well,
you see there's some big companies too. I mean, we have customers, we have end customers who's buying 10, 20 gross a month.
Wow.
Just tells you there's some big companies out there who's like just window cleaning.
Yeah, that's wild, man. That's wild. And really, all
either that or they're changing the rubber after every window.
Yeah, well, I can tell you now, dude. All you need in America to be successful is a pair of white frame sunglasses and a pair of Gucci loafers, and you can clean windows. You're the best that's ever did it.
Yo. Let me tell you what's going on over here. You see these guys over there? That's Jimmy Kick the Can. Okay?
Jimmy Kick the Can.
And right next to him is Joey Bag of Donuts, right?
Joey
so
Bag
we
of
show
Donuts.
up we show up at this job, right? And these guys have no idea what they're doing. We go up on the rooftop and we have a meeting and we pray to the Lord Jesus and then we drop. Okay? That's the way we do things here.
Well, Casper, I hope everyone was satisfied with this podcast episode. I know people were waiting for you to get on here and be like, pull your pants down and shit on an effigy of Perry Tate, but that didn't happen. And the reason why I know that didn't happen is because you're a super classy fucking guy. You're a classy. You are a class act. You are a good fucking dude, and I'm glad that it didn't turn into that. Even though I've tried several times to get you to say something disparaging about it.
Sorry, Howard's the only one that could get information out of that.
So, I just want to say that I think people should go to www.blackdiamondsqueegee.com right now. Order yourself a dozen of rubber and try it out. Or go to www.windowcleaner.com. And buy that one. Yeah, that one's probably the best bet. If you're in America, just go to www.windowcleaner.com and get you some Black Diamond rubber. Try yourself out a dozen of rubber. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. It's pretty awesome. And Casper, we just like to thank you again for coming on the show. Next time, I'm going to get you drunk and make you say terrible things. I can't express enough how me and Mark really appreciate your friendship and the fact that you come on the podcast and chatted with us and talked about all things rubber and discussed your future plans with us. And we look forward to hopefully having you back again when something cool.
We look forward to getting our hands on some of your developments.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure being here. I would love to come back.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Casper, I'll give you a couple updates over the next couple of weeks on how those rubbers are holding up, so you have an idea.
And Casper, I won't, because you didn't send me shit. So this has been the Squeegee Life podcast with our buddy Casper. And again, go to www.windowcleaner.com and get you some. Actually, call Jersey, because he won't stop crying about it. Call Jersey and order some Black Diamond rubber and give it a shot, guys. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you Sunday. We guys have been spoiled with these back-to-back Wednesday episodes. We said we weren't going to do this, but Casper is leaving the continental United States, and we needed to get this done. So we wanted to make sure we got Casper on the podcast, make fucking dudes that shit their pants squirm a little bit, and that's what I think we achieved this evening. So we will see you guys Sunday. We'll probably have the sexiest man in window cleaning with us, Seth Byers, and we'll be getting it down with the getting it down. So we'll see you guys soon. Make sure you like and subscribe, and go to the Squeegee Life podcast page and join up, man. It'll be great.
Yeah, and go to the huge convention and meet Casper one-on-one. You won't regret it.
Yes. All right, guys. We'll see you Sunday. Peace.
Peace.